everybody, welcome to English for You. I'm Kat.
I'm Chickling.
And today we're talking a little bit about the past.
Oh.
So we've actually got an article about like a kind of a time capsule thing from somebody's high school years. So what was life like when you were growing up? What do you think things were like in high school that might be not the same anymore?
I think I had quite a satisfying life back then. And the most important thing from my high school is all the friends that I made. I think all of my lifelong friends come from my high school time.
Oh, right. That's cool.
What about you?
Yeah, I still have some friends that I knew in high school. I think the ones I knew in high school who are still lifelong friends, I also knew in elementary school.
Oh, wow.
So I've known them for a very long time. Let me think. I remember in high school, I actually missed out on a lot of the pop culture that other people were into because at the time I was really into like classical and jazz because I played violin and I
like jazz.
And I was in a jazz choir. So yeah, I wasn't into pop music at the time. Now I'm a little more like broad in terms of the music I listen to. But anyway, in high school, we also had no smartphones. This was before the iPhone came out. Yeah.
Right.
So it was a very different world. And you guys probably have a really different experience in high school now than we ever had. So yeah, it's interesting to talk to people from different generations and find out what life was like for them when they were growing up. And that's what we're going to see now. We're actually going to see someone who is much older than both Chiglin and I. So she's talking about a different year, 50 years ago.
Oh,
wow.
That's like, how old was I? Yeah.
50 years ago, you weren't born. You were not born.
Both of us weren't born.
No, we weren't born. We're not that old. Okay. Anyway, that means we're going to go right to our article and we're going to talk about what was life for a teenager 50 years ago.
Reading.
Time Capsule. A journey back to 1970. Rebecca and her classmates were 16 years old when they started a school project. Time Capsule for 1970. Now she returns to tell younger students about it.
I'm happy to be back at Orange City High School. 50 years ago, we buried a time capsule behind the school. With so many memorable things inside it, this capsule is a timeless reminder of our days in 1970. Let me show you some of these items. Here are some old photos. We didn't have the digital technology you enjoy today, but the pleasure of taking pictures was the same. Look at these photos. I forgot how stylish we looked. My classmates and I were the wavy-haired girls in short skirts. These styles may look old-fashioned now, but they could turn lots of heads back then. Next, a cassette. It was the most advanced way of listening to music in 1970. The label on this one says The Beatles. It was for me. I miss listening to them on my bed with a little radio next to my ear.
Okay, so as we said, we're talking about a time capsule today. And so we're being introduced to this person named Rebecca. Rebecca and her classmates were 16 years old when they started a school project. That's a very important school project. What was it?
Right, and next the article says, Time Capsule for 1970. Now she returns to tell younger students about it.
1970.
Yeah, so here we're talking about a time capsule. This is a historic cache for goods or information. 那么中文就可以像是一个时光胶囊。
Okay, so basically it's got like a bunch of valuable things in it that are only from that year or very, very important to that year or that time. Yeah, I think a lot of people actually do these even now. All right. So the article goes on to say, now it's Rebecca talking, she says, I'm happy to be back at Orange City High School. Woohoo! That's probably where she went to high school.
Yeah, and 50 years ago, we buried a time capsule behind the school.
Okay.
So they buried something in the soil.
Yeah, they buried it. Now, bury is a verb that means putting something into the ground and then covering it back up with dirt. Now, we bury things that we don't want to be found, like Maybe you bury something like your jewelry if you want to keep it safe from robbers. Yeah, money. Or, of course, it's a very common practice for people to bury the bodies of people who died, especially in the West, like in Europe and the US. Like a lot of people believe that if your body is kept together, it means that you get to go to heaven later. So we also bury things we want to protect so they won't be damaged, like time capsules. Like you'll usually put it in a very strong box that's not going to get damaged by the dirt, and you'll bury it underground. Now, bury can also be to hide something under other things, so it's not easy to find, like if you were buried in a pile of leaves after you rake all your leaves in the fall, or if you bury your head in your hands, that's when you do this, when you're embarrassed.
Yeah.
Now, for example, the squirrel took its nut far away from the tree and buried it under the ground, keeping it safe for the winter. That's something squirrels do a lot, bury nuts.
OK， 所以我们看一下 bury 这个动词，它是掩埋或埋葬的意思。那么它的过去式呢，跟过去分词是 bury、buried，记得要加去外加上 ied。那么有一个小片语 ，everybody， 我们来可以学一下这个小片语哦。To bury oneself in something, it's a phrase. It means that you're very focused on something. 你非常埋首于做一件事情或沉浸于做一件事情，所以你可以说 The students buried themselves in their school projects. 好。所以我们知道说呢 Rebecca 跟她的朋友在50年前做了一个学校的 project， 那么是1970年的时间胶囊，所以今天她回到学校啊，跟大家分享说，他们50年后在学校，50年前在学校买的东西里面放了什么。
So they buried something.
I'm quite interested in this, and I'm so curious about what's in the box.
Yeah. They're about, I think, the same age that my mom is. So my mom is also 66 this year. So I think this is exactly the same age as my mom. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, with so many memorable things inside the time capsule, this capsule is a timeless reminder of our days in 1970. Now, when we say timeless, that means it's kind of like something that lasts beyond time. It doesn't matter what year it was made or what year you're encountering it. It's something that's valuable even outside of just its time. And that makes it memorable. What does it mean to be memorable?
So when something is memorable, it is likely to be remembered or worth remembering. And we also have this other vocabulary word, which is reminder. So a reminder is a written or spoken message that reminds somebody of something. So if something is timeless, it does not change as years go past. So we know that these things in the time capsule can remind us of what happened in the past. 所以我们在时光胶囊里面呢，有很多令人难忘的东西哦。那这些东西呢，可以带我们回到1970年的时光。那我们有看到这个 timeless 这一个 adjective， 它是永恒的、不受时间限制的意思。
So we've got some very timeless and memorable items in this box. What kind of items do you think would be memorable or timeless from like when we were in high school?
Maybe like a tape?
Tape?
Like you used to record what you did? I used to do that.
You mean like a recording machine? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Or like a tape, the cassette.
The cassette tape?
Yeah.
I think we're actually going to talk about that in this article.
Right, okay.
I didn't use cassette tapes in high school. I think if I recorded something, it was either on like a recording thing on my phone, or I would get somebody to video me, maybe something like that. Yeah. By the time we were in high school, we didn't really use cassette tapes anymore. We were using CDs and maybe iPods or little MP3 players that carried less music than now, but they were still digital.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to learn about what did they use 50 years ago that was a memorable item. So Rebecca says, let me show you some of these items. Now, when she says items, that is a noun that is a very broad kind of category. She's talking about objects, things you can touch and hold. Now, we often use the word item specifically to talk about things being shown or being sold in a store. It can also be things that you have on a list that you need to get or have to do. Like, I have a list of items I have to get at the store. I have a list of items I need to do today. Other words for this kind of 东西 word are like objects, goods. Goods are things that are being bought and sold. Things, of course. And my favorite, bits and bobs. It's like a cute little 3-word phrase.
I like that.
Yeah. Also, when two people just started dating, you can also say they're an item. So you're like, oh, you and your boyfriend, you and your girlfriend, you guys are an item. Now, another example sentence might be, we sell lots of items for people's homes here, like picture frames, baskets, and pillows.
OK， 所以 item 这一个字是物件啊、项目的意思。那我们就可以造一个句子。Did you check all the items on the shopping list? 那么我们可以 Yeah, we can use it as a verb, but we have to add ize at the end of the word. 要逐条列出 itemize. So you can say he has itemized what needs to be done today. 所以 Rebecca 就要秀出时间章里面的项目咯。所以呢 What do we see here?
She pulls something out. She says,
Here are some old photos.
Yeah, old photos. I love looking through old photos. She says, we didn't have the digital technology you enjoy today. That's right, there weren't digital cameras back in the 1970s. But the pleasure of taking pictures was the same. Yeah,
I agree.
There wouldn't have been a point to have digital photography back then because there weren't any computers powerful enough to show the photos in a good way. And so digital, when we're talking about this, you might have guessed, it involves computers and it involves programming. It's not something driven by mechanical parts. So a non-digital camera has a mechanical, like a machine that opens to let light in and then closes, and then you have to put it onto a special paper to see the photo. Now, digital cameras, on the other hand, you can see it right away because it's pixels, it's a computer. The internet, digital clocks, phones, especially smartphones, digital TV, these are all digital things. They're all about electronics and computers. It wasn't very common yet in the 70s. No. So if you want to talk about the opposite of digital, you can say the word analog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, especially for cameras and TV. Yeah. Now another example might be, all the TV channels in the US changed from analog to digital in 2009.
好，那大家我们来看一下 digital 这一个形容词，它是数位的意思。所以像数位相机，我们就可以说 a digital camera。那老师刚刚有提到很多 digital 后面加上名词的字都是指数位的什么。那我们看到手表呢，我们现在常戴 a digital watch， 就是数位手表的意思。那么如果你戴的不是数位的，是有长短针的手表，你就可以叫那个手表 an analog watch。好，那我们来看一下例句。You can transfer digital images from your camera to your computer. 那么你们不就觉得呢 digital 这一个字把 al 拿掉呢，就会变成 digit， 就会变成一个名词，是数字的意思哦。所以如果你问说这一个号码里面呢有几个数字 ，you can say how many digits does the number have？ 那么文章中提到的 digital technology 指的就是数位科技的意思。
Oh, so digital and digits are kind of related. How many digits are in a Taiwanese phone number?
Oh my gosh.
So it'd be like 886.
Like 10-2? I don't know.
13.
13? Okay.
If you add 886.
You're more like a Taiwanese than I am then.
I guess I put my phone number on a lot of things. Anyway, so she's talking about that, yeah, they didn't have digital cameras back in the 1970s, but the pleasure of taking photos was the same. Now, pleasure is a noun that means kind of a feeling of happiness and enjoyment from something. If you get pleasure and feel easy and relaxed, you might feel pleasant. Now, A-N-T instead of U-R-E, it makes it pleasant. An activity you like doing is something that is pleasurable. It pleases you, that's the verb, or it makes you feel satisfied. Now, other words for pleasure might be excitement or enjoyment or just joy. Like you feel joy when you do this. That's a little more of an exciting kind of happiness. Pleasure is a little bit more of a relaxed happiness. Now, you can often say, I take pleasure in something, or I take pleasure in doing something. It means you like doing that thing. For example, I take great pleasure in going to the park after school to read a book under the trees.
That sounds relaxing.
Yeah.
OK， 那我们来看一下 pleasure 这一个名词，它是乐趣、喜悦的意思。所以你们应该也常常听到人家说 It's my pleasure to do something， 意思就是做这件事情是我的荣幸哦。So 我就可以说 It's my pleasure to be standing here with Kat， 就代表说呢跟
It's my pleasure to stand with you 。
所以在这边呢，我们站在一起，代表是我觉得是很荣幸的事情。那么老师刚刚提到，你也可以说 to take pleasure in doing something， 那你其实也可以说 to find pleasure in doing something， 就是代表你做某件事情给你很大的乐趣。譬如说 a lot of kids find great pleasure in playing video games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can also say it's a pleasure or my pleasure as a polite way of replying to somebody who was just thanked you for doing something. 就是有不客气的意思。所以 thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Right, 就是这样子，不客气的意思。好，所以 Rebecca 就说了，在那个时代呢，没有现在的数位科技，不过拍照乐趣其实都是一样的。
I just thought of another way you can use pleasure in a kind of a polite way. If you meet somebody and they say I'm pleased to meet you or it's nice to meet you, you can say the pleasure's all mine.
Oh yeah, I've heard that before too.
Yeah, anyway, let's get back to this article. Look at these photos. We're looking at these old photos now. She says, I forgot how stylish we looked.
Oh, stylish.
Yeah, stylish, as you can tell, is an adjective that means something good looking and in fashion for its time because it has an attractive look, it's put together well, like a good outfit. Everything kind of goes together to look really nice. Stylish is more about the clothes than the person wearing them. So it doesn't matter if you're, pretty or really average looking or whatever you look like on the face and body. If you are stylish, that means you look really well put together and you're wearing your clothes really well. So it's a good compliment on somebody's taste in fashion, really.
OK， 我们来看一下 stylish 这一个形容词，大家应该觉得它很面熟，因为它其实就是 style 来的字。那 stylish 就是时髦的、高雅的。那这个字呢，就是 style 来的嘛，我们刚刚讲到。那我们现在知道说文章中他们看到以前的照片，都快要忘记他们以前有多时髦了。那我们再讲一下 style 这一个字，我们也可以说 out of style. So when something is out of style, it kind of means that it's out of fashion.
It's not cool anymore.
Yeah, right. 就是过时的。譬如说 her dress is out of style. 那代表她的洋装是很过时的。那么你也可以说 in style， 这是另外一个片语，有当排场很好的、有时髦的意思。譬如说 whenever Annika throws a party, she likes to do it in style.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Lots of people like throwing stylish parties.
Right. 所以他们就很喜欢把整个排场弄得很大。那么 stylist 也是我们常常看到的字，就是一个造型师。所以发型造型师你就可以说 a hair stylist.
I go to my hairstylist every couple of months.
Oh, right.
Gotta keep that orange. Yeah. So
Okay.
Anyway, how were they stylish?
Right. So they're looking at the pictures, and she says, "My classmates and I were the wavy-haired girls in short skirts."
Right.
Okay.
So in the 70s, especially in the early 70s, they liked kind of this wavy long hair and then they liked to have short skirts. Usually they'd have like a plaid pattern or they might have another kind of pattern. Sometimes they'd wear pants that like would be really big at the bottom. There was called bell bottoms.
Yeah, like 中文 like 喇叭裤. Have you heard of that? I think it's 喇叭裤. Like
Don't know. I have no idea, but I'm taking your word on it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so she's saying these styles may look old-fashioned now, but they could turn a lot of heads back then.
Oh, okay. So 我们讲到 out of style, now we have this other phrase that we talked about, old-fashioned, 就是老旧的、过时的。
Right, but if you say something could turn a lot of heads or turn somebody's head, it means it gets a lot of attention and it makes people go, ooh, look at that, like in a cool way. All right, now we're moving on to the next item in the box. Next, a cassette. It was the most advanced way of listening to music in 1970. Yeah, I used to have cassettes when I was a very young kid.
I used to have a lot of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
When we talk about some technology being advanced or a method being advanced, it means that's the newest and best version of something that's out there, especially if it makes people think that more things in the future are going to follow from it, or it's going to create a new trend. Advanced technology right now is things like AI, which is artificial intelligence, virtual reality, where you can pretend you're in a different world while you're gaming, things like 3D printing, where you can print something in 3D. If you have advanced technology, that means it's the most important and the most futuristic thing that's out there. Now, advanced can also mean you have a very high level in something. For example, if your English is very advanced, that means you have a high level of English. For another example, this movie used a very advanced way of creating new characters in a computer.
OK， 那我们来看一下 advanced 这一个形容词哦，它是先进的、进步的意思。那么呢，老师刚刚有提到，如果你英文很好，你就可以说 somebody has advanced English，那它就是高等的、进阶的意思。所以你后面可以加上一个科目的名字，或者像是一个 advanced math， 或者是 advanced English， 或者是 physics， 这些都是进阶的数学啊、英文、物理加一个单字就好。那么 of course advanced 这个字呢，你把 d 拿掉，它就可以当名词、动词、形容词，非常好用的字 right？ 那么我们最常用的是 in advance， that means you do something beforehand， like 非事先啊、预先、提前都是可以的意思。譬如说 you must pay for the tickets in advance， 那代表说你一定要事先付票的钱。那我们有讲到 advance 也可以当动词哦，它有进步啊、预付的意思，所以你就可以说进步的话，我们造一个句子 We have advanced greatly in our knowledge of the universe，我们已经对认识宇宙有很大的进步了。那我们这边有另外一个单词 cassette， 这是卡带的意思哦，这个是1970年代听音乐最先进的方式。
It's hard to imagine a cassette being the most advanced way to listen to music, but I guess it was true at that time. We've come a long way since then. We've advanced a lot. Now, we're looking at the cassette tape. It says, the label on this one says, The Beatles. It was from me, from Rebecca.
Okay, and next she says, I miss listening to them on my bed with the little radio next to my ear.
Like a little cassette player, right? Yeah. I actually
Mine was like really huge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had like two, and one, the size was like, maybe like 25 centimeters long.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was really trendy when I was growing up to have a big boombox stereo. So I had one and it would play CDs, and you could also plug in a USB. So it was really advanced. Then you could plug in a USB and play music from your USB, which was kind of a big thing back then.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all the time we have for the first day. That means the second day we're going to see even more items and actually talk about kind of what the feeling was like in the world back in 1970. So that means that right now we're going to go straight to our For You chat.
For You chat.
Okay, so we have an interesting question today. It could have a lot of different answers. What trends from today do you think will disappear in the future or change over time?
Okay, well, I think in the past, people didn't have phones. And then when I was born, we started to have like phones, and then...
You mean like smartphones?
Yeah, smartphones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not when I was born. It was when I was like in high school. And then my mom always got me a new phone, like every year. So,
wow.
Yeah. So it's crazy. But then I think in the future, maybe all of these will disappear.
You think so?
Yeah, I think everything that we can see on the phone will turn into an invisible screen in the air.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Maybe, they will just pop out, or whenever you want it, you can just tap it in the air, and then the screen will pop out. And then you can tell the screen what you want to do.
Wouldn't it be kind of crazy, though, if some people see you going around doing this?
Because everybody is doing it at that time, so it's not weird anymore.
Okay.
It's like a trend in
Yeah.
the future.
All right. Well, you guys may have your own answers for this. It could be something really, really different. It could be something that's like technology, or it could be something else like fashion. Now, yeah, we're out of time, but you guys have all the time in the world to discuss this. So we'll see you for day 2 tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Time Capsule, a journey back to 1970. Rebecca and her classmates were 16 years old when they started a school project. Time Capsule for 1970. Now she returns to tell younger students about it.
I'm happy to be back at Orange City High School. 50 years ago, we buried a time capsule behind the school. With so many memorable things inside it, this capsule is a timeless reminder of our days in 1970. Let me show you some of these items. Here are some old photos. We didn't have the digital technology you enjoy today, but the pleasure of taking pictures was the same. Look at these photos. I forgot how stylish we looked. My classmates and I were the wavy-haired girls in short skirts. These styles may look old-fashioned now, but they could turn lots of heads back then. Next, a cassette. It was the most advanced way of listening to music in 1970. The label on this one says The Beatles. It was from me. I miss listening to them on my bed with a little radio next to my ear.
Vocabulary Review.
Bury. To grow these plants, we bury their seeds in the soil and water them regularly. Item. If you buy fewer than 10 items, you can use the express lane to check out. Digital. Most people use digital cameras today, but some still prefer traditional ones. Pleasure. Rebecca smiled with pleasure when she heard all of her students passed the difficult test. Stylish. Julia always looks stylish. She takes a lot of care picking her clothes. Advanced. Computers are much more advanced machines now than they were 30 years ago.
字汇小补帖
Capsule. Memorable. Reminder.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net